Once upon a time, there was a thriving city on the edge of a vast ocean, built entirely with LEGO bricks. Minifigs came from every part of the universe, seeking fame, fortune, and the opportunity to build something for themselves. And build they did. They called it MonoTown, named after the soaring monorails that crisscross the city skies. Slowly, it began. Rising temperatures led to unusually hot summers and warmer winters. Reports of floods and crop failures, retreating polar ice caps. The planet was changing, and maybe dying. Experts and computer models agreed sea levels would rise and the world would never be the same again. The city, it seemed, was doomed. There is always a choice. They could abandon their city, or they could fight back, and fight back they did. MonoTown would stand against all of the rage and destruction that Mother Nature could muster. They would build the largest seawall the world had ever seen to protect them from the rising tides. It would take years, thousands of minifigs, and an incalculable amount of money, but they would save their city and their way of life. Join us to continue the journey of MonoTown, the last coastal LEGO city. City builds, sorting LEGO bricks, official LEGO set builds, and my own creations. All of it streamed live right here on Twitch. Welcome to MonoTown TV. What we're trying to do is build a shared story of heroes, villains, triumphs, and failures. We are building to support children in Lebanon. Welcome, viewers near and far. Thursday night here in Scotland, MonoTown TV HQ. And this is not just a normal night. Oh, guys, don't really know what happened there. We've got a bunch of alarms going off.
Within any electrical circuit, there is resistance.
So far, the MonoTown mainframe has been the main target of these attacks. It's the last coastal LEGO city fighting for survival. With me right now is Maz, hailing all the way from Scotland, and I'm told it's your birthday today. How old are you? It's a story that's constantly evolving, and we never really know where it's headed next. That thing is heavy.
The recent statement released by the so-called Factr Faction is as disturbing as it is nonsensical.
The MonoTown Exchange, one of the largest stock markets in the world, is now open to foreign direct investment. But we are prepared to go through that. We're representing You will not want to miss Sunday's stream. What is up, everyone? Checking the TV guide here, seeing what's on schedule for this evening. Just heading over to the DVR. This is very convenient. Got my show favorited. Sunday night. MonoTown TV, of course. What's playing?
How is it going, everyone? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Sunday night. It is time to stream. It's time to build some Lego. It's time to advance the story of MonoTown, what we call the MonoTown Chronicles. And we see some familiar faces have already logged in to chat. Happy Train, welcome on in. Lone Gopher, probably our farthest away time zone viewer, potentially. Not sure who wins in that battle from between Hawaii and Australia. Welcome on in, and it's just good to be building. We have been working hard behind the scenes at a number of upgrades that you may or may not be able to tell. One of them is fairly substantial in that we have the MonoTown Exchange, which you can see is open for business. Ticker tape is running. Above me is now running off of the actual future MonoTown mainframe computing hardware. What do I mean by that? I mean that previously, I think some of us may remember, we were running the system software for the mainframe on a computer that was not in the MonoTown room. And tonight we have moved that code over to a Raspberry Pi that is just to the right, kind of sandwiched in a bunch of mess. And the plan is to get that Raspberry Pi actually embedded within the building that will be the MonoTown mainframe headquarters. So what that means is we have the trains running tonight, because previously Bluetooth was having trouble reaching through the ancient stone walls of my flat here in Scotland. And instead, now that we have the mainframe moved into the Lego room, we now have the ability to run trains once again, chat. You are in control of these trains. Well, one train for now, until we finish the upper line. We have a new couple of cameras positioned around MonoTown, including a new view, which we are calling the Train Hunter. Let's check it out. Right there we see the Train Hunter view. 4 cameras placed to try to find where our train is. And hilariously, we can just barely make out the green freight locomotive on the upper left camera right by the Lego truck. If you just go down, you can see it peeking out there. So try it out. I think I've got enough batteries to run most of the evening, and once you get the train running, we can figure out where it is and watch it cruise through the streets of MonoTown, because it is running on the tram section of the line. So let's see here. Might as well, crack right into building. This is a build that we have been enjoying quite a lot. You can see here, those of you that really like a neat and well-organized build station, this is not what you're getting tonight. Instead, you are getting a big dump. Now, this set did not come in numbered bags. I'm not that crazy, but it is the creepy crawler crane. That's not the official designation. Show the box here. Very cool set. Number 42097. So we have built basically a bit of the base. Right here, you can see it's got some turning stuff. It's the technical title. It's got some rotation stuff here, which I don't quite understand. But I'm excited to learn. Tracked vehicle. So we need this to basically help rebuild the city of MonoTown in the future, and you will see what we mean over the next few weeks. And we are working on what looks to be some sort of armature Got these two components that we're building. You can see right where we left off. Up here on our handy digital instructions. And just a reminder, we're shooting for about 9 p.m. for the ever popular MonoTown Chronicles, which will feature the nightly news and a couple of other segments that we normally do on Sundays. So welcome on in, everyone, but it's time to build. So I just finished adding this piece which lets the axle basically rotate around. It can go around a corner. Move that music down just a touch. Hey, Rojas Bricks, how's it going? I thought I saw you there. What are you up to today? And greetings, Happy Train. Great to have you as well. Looks like I'm going to join these up right here, and then it looks like this piece right here goes in there. It's a little bit fiddly of a... Whoop. That, I think... Uh-oh, no. Okay, so what happened is I just... There we go. Gotta concentrate. How's everybody's day going? Okay, I think I finally did that right. This is an uncharacteristically, like, difficult thing there. Just making sure everything's tight. Rojas Bricks and Happy Train. Happy Train, you might like this. We now have the trains running, which hopefully will make you happy, in MonoTown. They're running on a new piece of code. Well, not new code necessarily, but a new piece of hardware. And I had to change the code a little bit, but... Anyone else use the MonoTown stream to build, organize, play with LEGO? I hope so. You're hyped. How do we start them? So if you hit commands, exclamation point commands, Happy Train, then it'll pull up some commands, and then we will go to the train hunter, which is how we find the train within MonoTown. And you can see that if you direct your attention to the upper left view, that's on the south side, you've got the green engine just barely poking its nose out onto that camera. And I would suggest, we've got the speed at the full range, which we haven't had before, so I'd suggest doing speed of about 50 instead of maybe 100. Got another camera view as well that you might appreciate, folks, which is our city overhead camera. You can kind of see how the room is laid out. I was having a lot of problems with image quality off this. This is an old GoPro that I just found in a drawer. So I thought I'd put it to work. And eventually it started to behave, which is nice. So yeah, it was kind of a mad dash to get ready for the stream. We had cameras to fix up, we had a lot of new scenes to add, which had new cameras. So I'm kind of holding my breath that everything will work, but if it doesn't, you'll know why. And that is because we need more time to test, and because of the Factr Faction. We're going to blame everything on him and them. All right, I'll go to the train hunter for you. Happy train. Oh, and we've got a derailment. Oh my goodness. So much drama. Hang on. We're going to go to City Overhead so you can see me get the railroad back in action. That was awesome. Now we can go back to the train hunter. There it goes. Like green lightning. Man, that thing is speedy. Can you guys hear it running? It's like unusually loud. Max 2856, welcome on in. How's it going? Good evening all. Super cool missing remote, Sato. Welcome on in. I can't remember if we've had the trains running since you've been kind of a regular, but we got them running tonight. So we've already had one major derailment. It wasn't Happy Train's fault. It was my fault. It was entertaining. We should probably clip that. Max, where in the world are you from, if you don't mind sharing? Rick North, how's it going? Welcome on into MonoTown. Oh, Poland, very cool. I've had 2 really great trips to Poland. Let's see here. It's a sticker. Mr. Henry, thanks so much for the subscription. Long-time subscriber, our fearless mod. Thanks for the support. All right, we're gonna go for this sticker, folks. It looks like you, I don't know if you can kind of see, but there's like a little bit of an indentation there, and it looks like you just put the sticker right over that. I'm not sure how I feel about that. So the plan too, chat, is that we've got this train running, and obviously there's no cars or anything hooked up to it, but we're gonna get it running, and then we'll complete the upper deck, and then we'll be able to have 3 trains run at any given time. That's our evil plan. Man, I'm gonna have to keep this down the bench so I don't. Man, both those went on surprisingly easy. I know, Max, like it's just, it stresses me out too on these bigger pieces because you can really tell when they're misaligned. So I think I did an okay job on that. What do we think, folks? Yeah. The stop motion video is dope. How many frames did it take to make it? That is a good question, Mr. Henry. So I think it was about 50, but that was literally my first attempt. So I just sat down, and by the way, we're talking about a video that was posted on the Discord or on Instagram. But I just sat down, I used this software called Dragon Frame, which is really cool, and just blasted it out. So it was a lot easier than I expected. And I found some cool tips on YouTube where folks are just like, oh, do this, and it like fixed a couple of problems I had trying to get the guys to walk smoothly. So that was nice. Thanks, Max. I appreciate the support. The sticker support is much appreciated. Don't you just love those Windows updates where it pushes Office 365 and features after a reboot? Oh, gosh. Yeah, you know, it's interesting, Sato. I feel like, you know, I don't have much stuff installed on my streaming PC because I do almost everything on a Mac. So I feel like, in general, Windows updates have been okay for me. I haven't had the pushy ones yet. I haven't quite figured out how to get this incorporated in the stream, but, you know, here's our TV guide for the program this evening. Checking our DVR, just making sure we've got all our programs lined up, favorited, and so forth. So that's what we can expect. All right, looks like I'm putting this into there and there. That looks correct. I'm checking. Yep, in between those two, and then to the right of that one, yes, and then we're all good. Brick North, I saw you say hi earlier. Where in the world are you from? We're trying to collect as many countries online chatting with us at the same time as possible. That actually looks really sharp. Sometimes on sets like this, I don't put all the stickers on if I feel like I want to reuse the piece, but you know, that looks pretty good actually. So as I was saying earlier, we've got new hardware running the MonoTown mainframe this evening, which is why we've got the trains up and running. Very exciting. You've got your emotes back. Oh, good stuff. Where did they go? What happened? There. No, that does not go there. So one of the things that I was doing this afternoon, in addition to messing around with stream prep, was we watched Eurovision on tape delay. My first time watching Eurovision, the real thing, and it was an experience, let me tell you. I've only one Technic set. Oh, Max, are you more of a normal city builder? I don't build a ton of Technic. I like it, but I try to focus more on City build stuff. Oh yeah, Amazon Prime subs don't want to renew. Yep. Yeah, it's kind of like it's interesting. Like, I feel like it's a annoying thing when you're running a channel because you don't want them to run out, but I think it's a good thing for viewers because it's like you can kind of spread it around. What kind of themes and stuff do you build, Max? I don't feel like I have a lot of these sawtooth pieces. I think it's a pretty rare piece in my collection. Build more city and of course Star Wars, yeah. Yeah, Star Wars is an interesting one for me. I have slowed down the buying of Star Wars sets. And I think it's just because I like the ships, but the other sets is just like, well, I'd rather spend more time on city stuff. Is Eurovision like an American Idol type show with European countries that are represented? Yeah, Mr. Henry, that's a... We were talking about this the other night. It is very, very difficult to explain what Eurovision is like until you experience it. The best way to probably get a handle on it as an American is to watch the movie Eurovision with Will Ferrell. And it's very like... I don't know, it's like kind of camp. So like, it's kind of like, it feels like some of the songs are a joke, but everybody still really wants to win. And everybody's just having a very good time. And there are countries that are not just European countries that are involved, like Israel and Australia. And so they have like guest countries, and you know, there have been legit performers and stuff, like ABBA won, I think, and Flo Rida was on this year, and it is a spectacle. Let's put it that way. It's so weird, but the Will Ferrell movie is basically like a very good explanation of what it's like. Forgot to watch Eurovision, Max. Well, we might have some spoilers later on during the news. How's it going, friends? Lone Gopher, good to see you. Glad you got the coffee. What did you go for? Normal drip coffee? Or as we say in the UK, a filter coffee? Is that the thing when the UK scored 0 points in? Yes, Mr. Henry, we scored 0 points in both the audience and the judges voting. But to be fair, the guy was terrible. Seemed like a nice guy, but it was an awful song. And, you know, maybe there's some Brexit undertones as well. The Hammer, aloha. Aloha to you. Drip coffee, but Hawaiian Kona coffee. Wow. That's kind of a flex, isn't it? That stuff is pretty good, isn't it? And pretty expensive. Maybe it's cheaper in Hawaii than it is elsewhere. What was your favorite this year in Eurovision? So Brick North, I enjoy rock music. So I really liked the Italian act, and I really liked the Finland band. Both of them were like heavy metal kind of. Eurovision judging is a bit too political at times. Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, like the UK was awful. And I felt like there were probably 5 or 6 songs I really liked. It's pretty long. I would say that my one regret is we watched it in the afternoon, and we should have watched it like at night while we were drinking, and I think that would have been made even better. But it was still very entertaining. Well, yeah, so I'll clearly state that there's a spoiler on the news when I get close to that, everyone. So if, we don't want to ruin anyone's experience. Don't even know how the Dutch did or who they selected, only know we hosted it. Yeah, it was in Rotterdam this year. So, Mr. Henry, I don't actually know how the countries decide who represents them. I think it might be different for every country, but I'm not sure. And I think the requirement is every year they have to do a new song. It has to be an original song. And they can't change songs. They have to do the same one all through the competition. Happy Train, I'm from the Midwest. We drink starting when we wake up. One thing about living abroad and with expats is getting to watch really different TV media. For sure, Lone Gopher. There's this show that just literally blows my mind. I just cannot believe it exists here in the UK, called Naked Attraction. And it's one of those shows that, like, every time I get a visitor from the US, just like, you have to watch the show. It's a total, like, just blows people's minds. Like, that show could never, ever be on air in the US, and it's on publicly accessible television at like 7 p.m. All right, so this thing now goes in here. It's not connected to anything, as far as I can tell. The other thing that was weird to me about Eurovision is that the contestants do not have to be from the country that they're representing. So I think the gal that was representing Greece was Dutch. But it was entertaining, very entertaining evening, and the semifinals were entertaining. But it's kind of like the it's kind of like the UN, I guess. If you commit more money financially to the show, then you get automatically through to the finals. Yeah, I don't know, Lone Gopher. I do suspect that it is different for every country. Isn't that cheating? Yeah, maybe. I mean, it depends on your view, I guess. Maybe it's just a good allocation of resources, Sato. Today I was watching old Clone Wars episodes. I started watching that show, Max. It was pretty good. I need to get back into it. All right, so now we're taking this thing, we're putting this into that axle. Now that gear is solid, I think we're pushing this in. Yeah, so that's cool. So now when it retracts, it spins this axle, or that axle can cause it to retract. We have a TV show with fan voting for our candidate selection. Okay. Makes sense. That's very fair. Very Northern European there, Sato. It does look like it would be an awesome night out, like, to go to it. Bet being in the audience would be a blast. They had a limited audience this year because I guess the Netherlands is still kind of struggling a little bit with COVID. There's some game show over here where after the contestants have accumulated their cash prizes, they have to outrun attack dogs in order to keep the cash. It's wild. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, there's crazy shows in Japan and places like that, obviously, but I think there's just crazy shows everywhere. Nope. There it is. Isabel, Louise, thanks so much for the follow. Welcome into MonoTown. Where in the world are you from? What have you been up to today? We're talking about crazy TV shows. Let's see here. I'm trying to find a piece, actually. There it is. Found it. It's still a mess here, but it's getting better. Well, that's good to hear, Sato. Yeah, I guess there's a performer that was not a contestant that couldn't perform because they tested positive, and then there was the Iceland group could not perform because somebody tested positive, which was a disappointment. Northwest England, and not much, a lazy Sunday. Oh, well, sounds good. Lazy Sundays are always fun. Here we go with a sticker. Nope. Gonna redo. I think that's okay. Hawaii is doing well with our vaccination rates, and I'm happy. That's good news, Lone Gopher. We're doing pretty well in the UK too. I think there's a little bit of worry around, you know, some of these variants and whether the AstraZeneca, which is what the UK is really relying on. But I think in general it's fairly okay. We're in the home stretch now. That was a little less good, but it's probably okay. A little bit annoyed with that one, but it's fine. Max, gotta go watch another episode of Clone Wars. Enjoy that. Appreciate you dropping in. All right, now fitting on this piece. So far it looks like everything's lined up correctly. Everyone in my area thinks the vaccines are going to kill people, sterilize them, or just put microchips in them. That's tough. Happy train. Oh, same. Sato, 30% or more refusing vaccination. Yeah, I mean, at least in the UK, they've had a really high uptake. It's been like 95+%. I think we've had a lot longer lockdowns, at least here in Scotland and the rest of Europe. So I think people are just kind of like fed up, just want to do whatever's required to get back to normal. Okay, looks like this is going... Yep, that's a mirror fit. Just using this piece to true up all the... Make sure they're all in. These pins. Man, this thing would be a mess to disassemble, I think. Americans are just stupid sometimes. I include myself in that. Yeah, Happy Train, as another fellow American, I include myself in that as well. As Winston Churchill said, you can always trust the Americans to do the right thing after they've tried everything else. I get my vaccine on Friday. It's probably going to be AstraZeneca based on where it is. And like, yeah, I prefer to get the Pfizer one, but whatever. I'll take anything at this point. My compassion quickly fades for those who are willfully ignorant. I know the hammer. It's like tough, you know, you just... It's difficult because, you know, why are people just so skeptical around stuff that, you know, it's a lot safer than getting in your car, that's for sure. One interesting thing about the vaccine, oh no, put on the wrong gear. One really interesting thing about the vaccine is my father has Parkinson's, and he has restless leg syndrome. So his leg will twitch at night and stuff, and just kind of, it's irritating. But after he got the Moderna vaccine, that's completely gone away, which is wild. All right, now we're doing a black gear. Oh, so in Netherlands, you can request another one. I don't think we've got that option here in the UK, Sato. A question, how do you have your minifigures organized? I'm working on redoing mine right now and just not sure how to. You know, that we should talk about that a little bit, Happy Train, because I am actually in that exact same position right now. So the short answer is I've got all of my minifigs basically in one big bucket that are intact, and then I've got a, you know, split into pants, shirts, or you know, torsos, heads, caps, you know, whatever, headgear, and torsos for ones that are unassembled. But you know, I'm not sure how that's the best, and I kind of am at the point where it's like maybe I should start organizing based on you know, whether they're police or fire or something like that. So yeah, I'd love to hear how you've thought about it, Happy Train. Also got the Pfizer, give me a good excuse to rest and chill with no significant side effects, which I think a lot of people are frightened of. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, you still might get COVID even if you've had a vaccine, but it'll be a less serious bout of it. I got some friends who are doctors and they can't even walk up the steps in their house without being winded just because of they've got that long COVID thing. It's just kind of like, it seems crappy. Got the minifigs in a tackle box, but it's too small now, and I inherited my uncle's collection, so that's 3 times the size of mine. Oh wow, that's cool. Did your uncle get out of the hobby, or? That's very nice. Yeah, definitely put pics up on the Discord. I love it when we're streaming, folks like dumping links in and stuff on the Discord, because otherwise, like, sometimes I'll forget. Actually, I will forget unless I write it down. This is very long. Bit of rope. Oh yeah, Happy Train. I was kind of afraid that might be the answer. Oh, sorry about that. All right, so I need to. Oh, I can thread this through without it. That's interesting. I'm sure he'd be very happy that it got passed on to you. All right. Making one knot. Actually, I'm trying to do it twice because sometimes my knots are just garbage. This is a pretty bad knot, actually. I'm not happy with it. See what I did there? Just bear with me. Give myself a little more space here. There we go. I'm trying to close the knot down. This is a disaster. It's been rough because he kind of raised me. He lived next door and we would play Lego every day, but now I can kind of just chill and enjoy the things we enjoy together. So it's been kind of like therapy. That's good, Happy Train. I think Lego can be very, very therapeutic. It's Mental Health Awareness Month, at least here in the UK. And, you know, sometimes stuff just gets overwhelming. It's okay. Get some help. Talk about it. Do something with your hands. Seems to work well for me. You know, it's funny, like, I think as humans, we don't mind if things are planned, you know, but when things are unexpected, then it's kind of a bit more traumatic. So I'm sure that was not a fun time. All right, so what I'm going to do here is try to, move this knot down while it's still kind of tied. And then we'll tighten it up at the end. It's my evil plant. There we go. Whoa, that actually worked. There's a stat that I looked up, and I think it's within any given year, 50% of people, and this is like true, consistent across the UK and the US, will have had at least one mental health issue in the last year. So sometimes it can feel a little embarrassing or whatever, but it shouldn't be, because we're all going through similar stuff at different points. This year's been traumatic. AF. Yeah, I would agree with that, Lone Gopher. It's funny, you know, LEGO has been one of the main things that has been helpful for me, you know, just being able to come in, and there were a lot of question marks about work and, you know, like everybody. Okay, I think it wants me to wind this. You know, just being able to come in and escape a little bit to this silly world that we're all building together and talk to people on the internet and create stuff for folks to enjoy has been one of the highlights. So I'm not recovered from it yet at all. Yeah, I mean, look, I would say, you know, even for folks like us who have been lucky and, you know, we're all safe and stuff, there are probably people we know that aren't in that boat. And even just that idea of like, oh my goodness, is my job not going to be around, or is my company going to be okay, you know, where I'm working? Those aren't questions that most people tend to deal with well, even at the best of times. And then when everyone's dealing with it at the same time, it's like, And then, you know, sometimes you feel like you can't bring it up because everybody's going through it at the same time. But everybody processes stuff differently, and that's okay. My girlfriend and I both suffer with different things, so I always try to stay informed and helpful and understanding. That's good. I found that, you know, it was not until I was in my mid-30s that I even understood, like, how to relax. I went in to the therapist for the first time. Things were kind of difficult, and everything seemed like it was falling all down all around. And therapist said, well, do you know how to relax? And I was like, yeah, of course I know how to relax. And she's like, well, how do you do it? And I'm like, I don't know. And so she taught me some breathing exercises and, yeah, stuff everybody should know. All right, so I don't know if you can see this, but I've been threading it through. There you go. I've found that grace is a really, really good thing to be giving to people these days. You know, people might be jerks or whatever, but if we can be gracious and just, you know, assume the best in each other, that'll go a long way. You know, I live on a little lane that is up against a really major road here in Edinburgh. And it's crazy, but in the last like 5-6 weeks, and what happens is people cut up the lane because they're trying to like skirt the main road. But there's often delivery vehicles because there's a lot of shops on the street. And the amount of times in the last few weeks where there's been cars that have just been honking incessantly at these delivery vans that are trying to do their job. They're only parked there for a few minutes, and it's not like it's a major road. It's just crazy. And you kind of see little tangible things like that where people are just still very, very stressed. Slick Nick, hello, how is it going? We're having a good night over here in MonoTown. It's almost time for the news. We're talking about mental health, we're talking about Eurovision, we're talking about LEGO, we're talking about the Clone Wars. And we're streaming, and it's a Sunday night, and you know, life is pretty good. Oh, we're talking about minifigure organization as well. I would really like to debate that, you know, because, yeah, I'd be interested to see what people think. How do we organize minifigs in an efficient manner? I don't. Yeah, I don't either right now. Slick Nick, sorry. We were just talking about it, but it's getting out of control. And I really want to be able to find minifigs, and I'm torn too. Like, there's this idea: do you disassemble all the torsos and then organize them, or do you leave characters intact? I've got a few that are collectible, but I'm not really into minifig collecting per se. So I don't care that much, but it's also kind of like nice to know what minifigs came together. I almost wonder if there's like a database or something I could add and just say I've got this minifig as I'm like disassembling it, but I don't know. Do you use any of the Lego made Mindstorms, etc. sets in MonoTown? So Lone Gopher, that's a great question. I'm not sure what actually qualifies as a Mindstorm accessory these days because they've been unifying them. So I think now, well, the protocol and stuff is now the same between their Bluetooth controller boxes and the Mindstorms, I think. So I'm using Bluetooth to control the trains via the Raspberry Pi, which is a new addition tonight, and so far, oh, you know what? I was just gonna say, and so far, everything has been working just fine with the stock market. Until I noticed it had just crashed. Hilarious. Well, folks, it's 9 o'clock. It's time for the news, and I'm going to get ready over here for like just a minute, and by that I mean head to the bathroom, and then I'm going to come back and we'll do the news. So don't go anywhere, folks. All right, chat, you ready for this? This is the segment that we call the MonoTown Chronicles. Now, we've got a bunch of stuff that we haven't tried before tonight, as always. So your patience is appreciated. And this is what we are calling the MonoTown Chronicles, where we advance the story of MonoTown through a bunch of different mediums. This is news from around the world, from MonoTown, from the story, and it's coming right up. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is Sunday night here in MonoTown. I'm your host for this week's weekly news segment. We appreciate you joining, as always, whether you're here in MonoTown or joining us from our satellite feeds all over the world. Let's get to this week's top stories. The LEGO Group officially announced the Daily Bugle set has come out, and fans of the DC Universe are thrilled with the size and the breadth and the scale of this set. It is 3,772 bricks, includes a number of minifigs, and will be available for LEGO VIPs on May 26th and the 1st of June for everyone else. What a fantastic set. We can't wait to see it. The LEGO Group wasn't satisfied to stop there, however. They also announced their first inclusive LGBTQ plus set with the Everyone is Awesome set, which pretty much melted down the internet this week, with folks saying that they had felt seen by the company. Huge positive reactions. It looks like an amazing set on its own, but the message of fun, inclusivity, and incredible colors is something that everyone can and will enjoy. We can't wait to get our hands on this. Here in the UK, fans have been enjoying the LEGO Masters Season 1 recap from the United States as the show first started airing about a month ago. And everyone around the world is excited for the second installment of the US edition of the show. If you've never seen LEGO Masters before, we'd highly recommend that you catch up. The first season of the US is great, but there's also a number of different editions, including the always popular Australian LEGO Masters, which those of us here at MonoTown HQ believe is one of the best editions of the show. The countdown is on, folks, for LEGO opening its first store here in Edinburgh, Scotland's capital city. We don't have an exact date yet. It was pushed back due to COVID-19, but we are confident that it will be opening sometime in June. Positions have been posted online for quite some time. Hiring is underway, and the store will be an anchor tenant within the new St. James development right here in Edinburgh. This will be LEGO's second store in Scotland, with the first having been opened in Scotland's second city of Glasgow. Or, if you live in Glasgow, pronounced Glasgow. On to local news. The mayor of MonoTown, Ms. Emily Chapman, reiterated a message of hope, stability, and said that we have nothing to fear except for fear itself, in reference to events within the city over the last few weeks. The Factr Faction has been on a citizen's mind. Who is the Factr Faction? What is the Factr Faction? What do they want? Where are they? What are they planning? What are these veiled threats that have been happening? We don't know, but this story is developing, and we're going to be inviting callers to call in just a few minutes to give their take on what it's like to live under the specter and shadow of a threatening terrorist group. The MonoTown mainframe has basically been put into production over the last few weeks and saw a bumpy start as the Factr Faction interrupted comms and infiltrated the network. It is unclear how they managed to get into the computer systems, but the CTO of MonoTown said that centralization is key, centralization is critical, and centralization is the future. Other reports have the MonoTown mainframe being spun up and ready to go in its new home within a supercomputer cluster being installed in one of the city's towers. Have said that the installation process has gone ahead of schedule. There have been glitches, as always, with any system installation, but so far things are looking good. However, last week, the MonoTown exchange crashed under heavy trading, and it is unclear as to why this happened. Some immediately blamed the Factr Faction, but then reports began to emerge that the MonoTown Central Bank had actually run out of cash to back trades as they were progressing through the market infrastructure. This led to calls of Is there going to be a bailout? Is the MonoTown exchange secure? Is the MonoTown Central Bank under pressure financially? Protests broke out across the city saying that there should not be a bailout, and that if the MonoTown Central Bank is too big to fail, it should not be allowed to exist in the first place. We checked in with Sovereign One, MonoTown's sovereign wealth fund, to see if there had been a bailout. They denied any sort of financial activity. However, reports of the MonoTown exchange being recapitalized have emerged from a number of credible sources. So this story, like many others, is developing. The MonoTown exchange, for their bit, said that the MonoTown exchange is the world's largest stock exchange. It has hundreds of years of history. It is stable. There have been no unplanned instances or outages, and that the heavy trading and swift market decline were arrested by circuit breakers that were previously designed and working as expected. So more to this story. The emissaries of the underground began to threaten to publish a number of documents related to the market sell-off last week, but none have yet materialized. And as always, they invite anyone who has any information as to the Factr Faction, the central bank, or the MonoTown exchange to submit via their encrypted and secure channels, where they will set the truth free. We're going now to the radio, where we're going to have callers call in, and I am told that we have heavy phone activity tonight. So we are going to take calls in just a second. We'll be with you in just a minute. All right, going to the phones. Caller 1, I would like to remind viewers that I'm contractually obligated to take this call. I personally do not endorse this individual being allowed to call in to the show anymore after being admonished numerous times for false statements made on the air. But I don't run this show, and the producers do. Let's go to the phones, and let's hear what we have to say.
After this recent cyber attack by the Factr Faction, we had
hang on.
press...
Can you speak up? I don't want to listen to you, but you need to be able to. We need to be able to hear you a little bit. So let's hang on.
From the mayor, and after this recent cyber attack by the Factr Faction, we had a press conference from the mayor, and in this she disregarded the claims of corruption to be baseless.
Baseless.
Well, are these claims of corruption baseless? Corruption, the definition, is dishonest or fraudulent conduct by those in power. Also misconduct, deception, dishonesty, criminality, wrongdoing, bribery, and the list goes on and on and on. The mayor is now using our hard-earned pounds, every minifigure in this town's hard-earned money, to fight what? A person who spoke out against her? I think that is corruption.
Right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is Charles Brickson, who runs his own radio show of dubious quality and, whatever. Incoherent at best. So, caller number 2, go.
Hello?
Hello?
What?
Hello?
What was that?
Hello?
Yes, hello?
You called us. Hello?
No. I'm not interested. I don't really know. I don't need to know about your Factr Faction.
Right. Okay. Sorry about that.
Please hang up and try your call again.
We're gonna go to caller number 3. Caller number
I've
3.
often walked down this street before. The pavement always stayed beneath my feet before. But all at once am I worried, terrified about what the future may hold because of these random people trying to take over the city's infrastructure and a mayor who seems ill-equipped to do anything about it.
All right. So thank you.
I believe our mayor is quite a delightful lady. I've met her once in person, but I believe that she is possibly one of the kindest minifigures I've ever met, and I believe that her judgment is probably the best in this situation. I mean, let's be real, we've never really dealt with a situation that's something like this with terrorist organizations, so it's quite good to see the mayor stepping up in this time of need for the city. I'm very pleased about it, and she'll catch my vote next election cycle.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's see. We've got another caller coming in. Hang on.
Look, I think we've got a real problem here. This is serious. You can't treat people like this. We've got a city that has always been a bit vulnerable, and it's based on common trust and basic human decency. And I have to say, I've always been a big fan of the mayor, but, you know, what are we doing about this? We're living in a hole in the middle of an ocean with only a few feet of wall to protect us. That doesn't sound so good when you got this lunatic, fringe, whatever the F. I can't even describe what this guy's gonna be doing or group or whatever. I mean, he needed to be hugged a bit more as a kid.
All right. Well, so far on the phones, as you can see, Monotowners always have a diverse set of opinions, ranging from the completely incoherent of Charles Brixton to some fear and uncertainty and doubt and so forth. Let's see. I'm told by the producers, yeah, we've got another caller coming in. Let's hear what they have to say.
It seems that whoever hacked this, the MonoTown central computer, the mainframe, they're very talented, I would say. I've dealt with my fair share of computers, and it kind of scares me, the fact that they could bring the market down. I mean, I've never seen anything like that. I don't even think I could do that with all my knowledge. I think this is something we need to be aware of and keep a watch out for it, you know? Thanks for taking my call.
Right. That was Mr. Bob Swindon, a computer network engineer and self-proclaimed genius, sounding off. Sounds like we got another call on the line. Hang on. Hello? Hello? This sounds weird. Yeah, modem.
The faction has breached your city. The faction will expose the unscrupulous secrets of your leadership. The faction is insurmountable. Be wary, citizens. The cacophony of frivolous statements from your politicians and leaders are intended to lull you, the citizens of MonoTown, into a calm, false sense of security. A tranquil population is easier to conceal their corruption from. Easier to manipulate, easier to deceive. The faction is here to wake you from the endless languor cast upon you all by the corrupt elite. Your awakening will be harsh, like the shattering of a brick by a hammer. But you will thank us for freeing you from waking. We are the faction. We are here, and we are intractable.
Wow. Okay. That seemed weird. Some sort of dial-up connection. The producers are telling me that they don't know how that call came in. They're trying to trace it, but sounds like that was a member of the Factr Faction. I don't think that was Lawrence Factr himself. So, but very odd, very odd. Well, appreciate, as always, the input from Monotowners. We've got a couple more calls waiting, and let's see what they have to say. That was weird, though.
They said, damn, dude, who does Lawrence Factor? I thought it was a new rapper on the street, but guess not. This fool out here hacking. That's crazy.
All right, thank you very much. Good input. Let's see here. Okay, caller number 6, I think at this point. You're on the air.
Yes, hello, am I on the air?
Hello, yeah, you're on the air.
Yes, hello?
Hello.
Am I caller 102?
No, you're, I think, caller number 6 or 7. Does it matter?
This isn't, okay, I was trying to win something. All right, so, what did you want to know?
What you think of the Factr Faction?
Oh, right, the incident. So I was at home, I was watching my programs, and the power went out, so now I never figured out what happened on Jeopardy. And that's a shame.
That
so
is a shame.
when it happened, I was really scared because I'm on a heart defibrillator and the power went out, and this is really concerning.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, more concerning input. And we seem to have just a bunch of confused senior citizens running around in Monotown that somehow have our phone number. So we're gonna keep going. We got a couple more here.
I've been living in this city for about 35 years, and I thought I'd seen everything from crime, petty crime, big mafia crime, that kind of stuff, But hacking the city, and I never seen nothing like that before. They turned the power off. That was quite honestly, that was disturbing. No other way to put it.
All right, and there you have it, folks. MonoTown reacts to the Factr Faction, a mixture of fear, confusion, conspiracy theory, and it sounds like the Factr Faction themselves is calling in. Like, what is with that? Anyway, it's never a dull moment on the MonoTown Radio, WMTR. We are going off the air. We appreciate the input. All right, and ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the point of the news broadcast where there could be some spoilers if you are not up to date with the latest action in Eurovision. Well, we're going to tell you all about it. Eurovision kicked off for its 65th edition over the weekend here in Europe. And the hosts of the world-famous show were the Dutch in the city of Rotterdam. It was an event for the ages, and organizers worked hard to make sure that the event could go on in the midst of COVID-19 protocols. That meant that the stadium had to be filled at far less than capacity, only 3,000 fans let in, but it was a great show, despite Iceland missing due to a positive COVID-19 test. And the audience was thrilled by an overwhelming vote to anoint the crew from Italy as the winner of Eurovision 2021. And yes, those are some of the most beautiful men that I've ever seen, and they deserve it. They did a great job, and the tune is fantastic. You should check it out. In other news, here in Scotland, the Hibernian FC, lost in the Scottish Cup Championship to St. Johnstone, a score of 1-0. This was the first time that St. Johnstone had ever claimed the crown. It would have only been the third time for the Hibs in the last 100 years. Hibernian fans everywhere were devastated. That's it for the news tonight. We appreciate everybody checking in. We appreciate all of the input. Thank you, callers. Thank you, viewers. And as always, we'll be back in action next week. right. Woof. That was a lot of tech going on behind the scenes, so appreciate you guys sticking with it. Need a stretch after that. By the way, if you hadn't noticed, I'm repping my Hibernian top kit, jersey, strip, as they say here in Scotland. Super cool of the team, though. All their uniforms have "Thank You NHS" on them for this season, so cool stuff. Anyway, for those of you who might be watching for the first time, the Sunday night is where we advance the story of MonoTown, but all through the week we are building for the things that we need to do that. And I'm experimenting with a whole bunch of different ways that we can communicate the story. So we did, a takeover of the stream was episode 1, where it was live. Episode 2 is what you just watched, which is MonoTown Reacts, and then we've got a bunch of action coming up, and how we film that, how we get that communicated on stream. We're always open for ideas. We'd love you to step into Discord and contribute, and appreciate all the positive feedback. And thanks so much to everybody who helped with the voices. That that was hilarious. By the way, all of that was unscripted, so everyone who submitted a voice came up with that character and their stuff themselves, so hopefully I did it justice, and we'll get a recap video up on YouTube shortly. So thanks. That's a lot of fun. Okay, back to building. And by the way, just a quick reminder, we got the Train Hunter cam. Show everybody that. Train Hunter cam. The trains are running tonight, so just fair warning, the speed has been massively upped. So a couple of things, I don't know if you remember, but we were only putting in half the batteries that we needed, so that helps. And then I also removed some of the stair stepping on the code. So if you run the trains, maybe start off at kind of 40, 50, go easy on it, folks. We've already had one train crash tonight, but you know what? It was fun. And thankfully it crashed in a way so the train didn't drive off the table. That would have put a damper in our plans. So it was totally my fault. I didn't make sure it was on the track. So you can't break it, and if you do break it, we'll laugh and rebuild it. Let's see here. I would really highly recommend checking out Eurovision, but probably Eurovision the movie is a good place to start. Uh-oh, I'm sensing some movement. Put the Train Hunter cam on here. We've also got a City View cam hooked up, which is new, so can catch it going around on that as well. Oh, currently disconnected. Hang on, that's right, because I rebooted. All right, you should be good to go. Yeah, Calkin, I was saying that it was, oh, you probably need more than 5, Hammer. Calkin, I was saying too, I liked the Finland song, the 2 rock songs, Finland and Italy, the best. So I think your speed of 5 is super low, Hammer. It probably needs a little bit more gas, or in this case, electricity. There we go. There it goes. Building a Technic crane. Yes, Slick Nick. We need a crane for the next bit of the story of MonoTown, so, you know, it's what we do. We get ready. We've been building emergency vehicles as well, so, you know, wonder why. I'm sure you can figure it out. There we go. Oops. 5E1 to 3. I'm not sure how that's getting interpreted, Hammer. By the way, the train code is a lot less tested than the MonoTown exchange code. And Lawrence Factr, I thought I saw you stopping in, so good to see you. Oh, weird. That felt like... This like thing acts as like a little lock almost. So now you can pull it, now you can't. I wonder if that's intentional. Probably at some point. Bought the cement truck and a bulldozer set earlier this year. Pieced together a large crane, mobile crane, and dump truck. Cool. Oh man, I missed a piece again, I think. Yes. One of these little spacer, yeah. It was cheaper sometimes to buy the sets used than find the parts for some vintage sets. Way overspent on the full-size crane. Yeah, I'm super lucky that I have all of my stuff from like when I was a kid. So there's not like loads of nostalgia sets or nostalgic sets for me to buy. But I did buy the 12-volt passenger train, the red one, and the 12-volt cargo train, the yellow one, and I was super thrilled with that. Made a movie out of made a YouTube video out of the red one. It was fun. So one of the next little things I need to do or want to do is to convert the city tram to Bluetooth so that we can have that running, not just the green engine. I still have my airport monorail. So that Slick Nick was another set that I spent so much money on. But I just had to have it. As a kid, it was the one set that I really, really, really wanted. And, you know, it was expensive. And so I was thrilled to get that. I'm looking for a hook for this crane. There it is. I have a surplus of monorails too somehow. Wow. Yeah, I bought the airport monorail and then I bought the space one, mainly because I just wanted to see what it was like. And then I've got a couple of extra monorail motors and some of the chassis that you can get from one of those like aftermarket companies. And I'm hoping to get a couple of monorail lines running in the city. So that's something to look forward to. I would love to see chat-controlled Lego robot versus kaiju fights in downtown MonoTown. Yeah, so the hammer, that's an interesting point that you bring up. I'm trying to figure out a way where we can get like Dungeons and Dragons going with the channel. And actually was thinking about it, and I saw somebody playing the game Stream Raiders, which I'm sure some of us have seen other Twitch channels playing. And it's basically like, you know, you randomly spawn characters and then they fight. But I was thinking, could we have the same thing where it's MonoTown Raiders and we write some of that code, and it's not hard, right? And we could play basically like little battles, and we could roll dice and see what happens. I think that could be pretty fun. So I don't know what the rules of the game should look like, but it could be very interesting. All right, looks like this is weird because, you know, okay, it's saying that I think my sister has a space monorail instruction booklet, piece it together with parts from my childhood box of parts. Oh, cool. You control the mechs LEGO have built to a fight to the pieces. Yeah. Well, they have those Mindstorm bots. That might be interesting. So I'm wondering, where was I supposed to do this little build that they're talking about? So right here, they're acting like there's some piece, and maybe I just didn't build it at the time, but I'll just build it now, I guess. Yeah, I definitely have not built this. Slick Nick, so why a Technic set? Good question. I had this set and I kind of wanted to have a really big crane, and I didn't have a whole lot of like LEGO City cranes. So, oh, this is where it comes in. Okay, now. So I was thinking that I can build this thing. Oh, sweet. Build this thing and then build like a cab that's minifig size off the side of it and control it that way, you know, or, you know, sometimes we just need, you know, a little bit of oomph. I need a crane that can reach all the way up to the sky dock from ground level. They've got that really nice big LEGO City crane. I'm gonna put this on backwards. Oh. Hang on. Pin backwards. There we go. So I really want that tall tower crane that everybody has, but obviously, like, it's... Uh-oh. No. What just happened? Something just popped off. Oh, okay, I see it. We're fine. We're fine. There we go. We're all sorted. This thing looks like a missile launcher. Echo Bricks. Welcome, welcome. Not sure what set you're referring to, Slick Nick, but this one we're building is 42097. I vote that we turn this into a hexapod crane so it can be truly all-terrain and raised lower. I'm not opposed to that, Hammer. In fact, it's got these, like, you know what? Let's go to a different camera angle. It's got these leg guys that are coming out for stabilization. So I think what we could do is experiment with that a little bit. The crane is 4 tall of those 2x2x10 parts that look like scaffolding. Oh yeah, the supports. Yeah, so that would just be the almost the exact height of the elevator, Slicknick. Now we're using this piece that I've never seen before. Slides in like that, I guess. You have 2 of the big cranes, Echo bricks. That is quite the flex there. Okay, now it can't come out. Just don't like the look of it. I like it, Sato, because it's just like cool, like skyline interest, you know. It's the reason that I got 2 of the windmills, and it's the reason that I wish the Ferris wheel would fit within the city. The Ferris wheel is just a little bit too big, but I've got a plan, so we're trying to see if we can get it up on the mountain. Yeah, this is cool, Hammer. You can tell it's gonna be super strong too. So it's funny, I thought I would blast through this build tonight, but I have not. Oh, wait, I did that wrong. All right. Yeah, so this thing is definitely not coming out. I watched that zombies movie that Zack Snyder did last night. It was fine. Like, I don't know. It was kind of like not really anything new. That's kind of nice. So you can see very nice slow bit of movement there. It just felt a little bit like mailing it in, the zombies film, I thought. I'm open to other opinions, of course. I guess it's kind of like after you've got fast zombies in World War Z, and you got slow zombies in Walking Dead, and after that it's like, how many more zombies can you have? Taking apart Ninjago City and bagging it up, it's so tedious. Man, that is, I bet that is tedious, and also that's my all-time favorite build. That's non-nostalgic. All right, Hammer, thanks for dropping in. Enjoy the lurking, and really appreciate your input. into this week's MonoTown Chronicles. Yeah, Mr. Henry, I agree. It was like the zombies become intelligent, and then it's like, so what? And I don't know. Like, it was just kind of like, what? I'm not a big fan of heist films. You know, like The Italian Job's about the only one. The Italian Job and The Sting are about the only ones that I really enjoyed. And I feel like, no, that's not true. I like Sneakers. But I mean, we're talking like what, one film a decade that I enjoy? All right. Thanks for checking in, Happy Train. Thanks for your contributions as well. Enjoy the festivities. Wow, Slick Nick. So what are you disassembling them all for? That's a lot of pieces. Kalkinen, I thought I saw you stop in during the news. I don't know if you're still around, but we're getting closer to disassembling the crawler. The sand crawler. Oh, that's cool. That is cool. What city stuff? Do you have like a particular era, or you know, anything that you're concentrating on? I miss both of these things, but at the start, when the military get in the car wreck and they're standing around, there's a couple of UFOs in the background that then fly off. In the second, this is, if you pause in the right place, you can see that some of the zombies are actually robots. Snyder said he added those bits in to play off of any sequels, if there are any. Oh, that's interesting. I thought that they didn't really do a good job of like explaining why like people are in these camps in Vegas perimeter, like I don't know. Just felt a bit flat for me, the movie. I mean, there were some amazing like gore scenes, that's for sure, which I enjoyed, but there weren't enough of those, I felt like. Oh, trying out the new road plates. Man, I have so many of the old road plates, and then I've been doing my own kind of, not really mill system, but kind of a mill system for the tram tracks, so I'm so sick of roads. And I had to basically tear out the whole skydock and rebuild it. I initially did not like the new road plates, but when I've seen them in with people's cities, I think they look really good. So I stand corrected. It's just funny, like I've got high trust of LEGO, and I think a lot of people do, but it's just funny how much people don't like change. Yeah, Slick Nick, I totally buy that. I thought, you know, they look really good. I saw one of my favorite cities on Instagram converted over to them, and it was really nice looking. All right, how is this attaching again? Oh, it goes this way. How did my idea of the whole city concept occur? That's an interesting one, Echo Bricks. Basically, I think what it started out as was, it was like, yes, we need monorails. My girlfriend came up with the name of MonoTown, and I thought it was catchy, and like, obviously, like, you know, web domain was available and stuff. And then in terms of the seawall thing, I was getting annoyed because I couldn't figure out a track plan that would look good, I felt like, or look, you know, like have interesting viewpoints, that it wasn't just track running around the outside of the city. And, you know, a lot of people on Instagram will build like the train mostly underground under the city, and then they'll have one little bit come through, and I just feel like that's a bit tired as well. I mean, it looks good, but I'm just didn't want to do that. And so then I thought, well, can I hide it behind this huge wall? And I was like, well, why do we need a wall? Oh, okay, well, sea levels have risen, and I've always been a big fan of like Waterworld, and it was also inspired a lot by this a comic book, a graphic novel series called The Massive, where they're running around and sea levels have risen. And so I think all of that just kind of worked into it. And then I sat down and just wrote out the story, which was fun. And that's in the compendium on the website. And so, yeah, and then it's just, since then we've had, you know, like the concert series was an amazing collaboration that we did. And then this Factr Faction collab is really fun. So yeah, I just kind of want to use the city as like a vehicle for telling stories, and I really love Dungeons and Dragons and just, you know, all of that. So however we can be creative. So I don't know if that answers your question. Watched Man of Steel recently. Starts out great, but halfway through it just becomes a senseless fighting and destroying stuff extravaganza. Yeah. You kind of wonder, like with superheroes, like, have we reached peak like visual effects, or can there be, I don't know. It's kind of like with a zombie film, like there wasn't a whole lot new. I'm tempted to try Robin Hood Brick's version on how to make the height work, but buy a piece of wood or whatever to allow for the right height. Right height for what? For the roads, like Nick? Or... Curious how LEGO will take the height of modulars in the future, especially if base plates might go away. Yeah, that's an interesting one. All right, so now I have to fix this thing. Oh yeah, so there'll have to be some re-leveling. Okay, I think I did that right. Right, that goes through. Does your girlfriend help me build? Not a ton, Echo Bricks. Like, it's not that she doesn't like building Lego. It's just kind of, she started on the Disney set, the Ideas one, the Steamboat Willie. And then she's kind of a slower builder because she's newer to it. And, oh, hang on. This goes in. And then it still has not yet been finished. So, but that doesn't mean she won't build again, or... She helps out a lot with the voices on the videos. So that's very much appreciated. Do you think LEGO missed that as an oversight or knew it? I don't think it's an oversight, Slick Nick. I just think it's one of those things, like, they probably saw you know, how everyone on the internet basically was like, yeah, I think that's put in correctly. I think it is. Yeah. I think they just saw everyone on the internet was like, building up, you know, their own road plates, and they were kind of like, we were missing a trick here. So, but then you just got to fix the issue, and there's no easy way to do that. Yeah, I think that's right. And I've done that. But they're saying they need 4 of them. Oh, should I have built 2 of these? I'm confused. Yes, 2 times. Great. Alright, we're going all the way back, compadres. Gonna move these pieces up a little bit. Random screwdriver. Yeah, I think base plates are on their way out too, Sato. It's crazy because they've been around for so long. But it is kind of just that thing, like, the people have spoken. We want better roads. Alright, so my guess is this will be the second build of this one, and then we'll have a mirror build on the final 2 legs. The community uproar. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, at some point you just gotta make the change. And my guess too is, like, whatever new base plate they do, they'll just sell something that you can convert a modular to, and it'll be fine. Because I've been able to peel off modulars, like the bottoms of them, and you know, put them on a different base plate when I've needed to. So it hasn't been the end of the world. I found this a repetitive build as it's very mirror image, I think is what you meant to say. Yeah, you know, that's a reason, Echo Bricks, why I don't like most Star Wars sets, actually, because, you know, I think LEGO tries hard to make them not repetitive, but at the end of the day, the ship's gonna have 2 wings, right? Base plates aren't made in-house, Sato? What do you mean? Like they're made by a different factory? Man, I thought that sticker was on my finger, and I was like, where did it go? Oh, it's made by an external supplier. I would never have guessed that. I wonder why. Seems very oddly, like, this seems very strange. Like, you can mold all these other pieces and can't do a base plate. Been auto-modded 4 times. Oh no. Sorry about that. Slick Nick. we're trying to be family friendly, but sometimes it's a little over aggressive. I got those stickers actually pretty good right there. Come on, focus. Focus. There we go. Looks pretty good. I always miss the 2 times things after complaining for years that they didn't put the 2 times designation on the instructions, and now they do it and I still miss it. I know purists won't agree, but there are always third-party options that aren't total crap. Yeah, to be honest, I just have enough base plates, like just have endless base plates. I should probably sell some of them. So it's never been a problem for me. You can find them on sale a lot too, it seems like. And I don't mind them. I know a lot of people dislike them, but for me, you know, as a kid, I wanted way more of them than I had, that's for sure. Target has a forever sale on them. Unfortunately, Target does not exist here in the UK, which is sad. But we got a Taco Bell here in Edinburgh. That should have probably been on the news segment. It's a big deal. A lot of people in the UK have never eaten at Taco Bell. It's like such a big part of my college experience. So I got a question, chat. Do we think that the overhead cam should make a return? I've got this other angle that has not been super successful, and I was going to reconfigure. As you can see, get this in the way. I don't know. And I'm wondering about overhead cam. It seemed boring, and I don't know, it was like irritating me, so that's why I moved it. But this new angle I have not been using a whole lot. Taco Bell is so sloppy here. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been to it yet, Slick Nick, so my guess is it's probably about the same. We got Five Guys here, and that was thankfully just like it is in the US, which, as fast food goes, I love Five Guys. Why that went out of focus. You like this view right here, Slick Nick? We could always zoom it in a little bit too. Whoop, that's out. So we can always get it zoomed in a little bit. When Burger King opened in Germany, it almost felt fancy, but it's been 20 years now and it's just the same, yeah. I like Burger King. I think they're pretty good. Oh, I haven't tried ordering on the app, Mr. Henry, because when I did, it was like the US app, and it wouldn't detect the Edinburgh store. Yeah, maybe replace the instructions of the site. Yeah, I could do that. I don't even remember what the side view source is called. Bench A6400. Here we go. We'll do a little live source monkeying. Oof. Look at that. I'm gonna move this guy. Yeah, I did see it was on Uber Eats. Whoop, just happened. I was having this problem with this cable last time. I don't know what the deal was. Okay, we've got it this way. And there we go. I'm pretty pleased that the Raspberry Pi has stayed up this whole time. Our new MonoTown mainframe. Hardware. Have you tried it yet, Mr. Henry? I'm assuming you have. You definitely need the sauces though, like, and you need a lot of them, and I bet that doesn't translate well over here. Okay. There we go. Still not connected to anything, I think. Alright, so that's the one connection. I just did that, and now we turn around, and now we go for connection 2. Oh. That's interesting. So, Mr. Henry, I noticed that they don't have gorditas, which is my favorite thing at Taco Bell. So that seems like a major catastrophe. No, wait. Okay. So I need to do the exact same thing on the other side. Bear with me, chat. All right, finally got this squared away. Okay. All right. Victory. Yeah, I saw a cheesy gordita crunch. That's normally like, you know, special times only. Trying to see what I did on this other side. I feel like something's borked here. Oh yeah, I did bork something, but it's weird because I think I'm actually right. No, I'm wrong. Okay. That's easy enough to fix. Okay. There we go. That makes more sense. All right, I think we're cooking with gas now. Thanks, Echo Bricks. Thanks. Sometimes I just get a little bit like turned around on these instructions. So I think now we're all set with the 2 legs. We got the markings, everything. Yeah, I think we're all good. I don't really know how to make this thing go down, so I'm a little worried about that actually. Oh. I'm wondering, did I install this quite right? Because it definitely doesn't seem to want to go down farther. I've learned not to force this stuff. Okay, I'm gonna go all the way back. Ah! That looks right, but this thing is supposed to be laying down. So yeah, it looks like I'm just off. All right. Yeah, I was just literally off. That's happened before. go. Now it's working. Boy, that is a slow mechanism. I think this thing kind of looks like a battle tank too. All right, now we're going all the way back down. And here we go. I'm going to build these two side by side, I think. Good. It's funny, I kind of feel, excuse me, I kind of feel like the Raspberry Pi is actually running this faster than my Mac Mini. And I don't think that could be true, but that is at least my perception right now. Are the Lego bricks on the table part of the set? They are not, Slick Nick. I was doing some sorting before. So like these panels and stuff, I need to get those sorted. I didn't get near as far on stuff on Saturday as I wanted to. So it was kind of, still need to do some cleanup. I got a cool piece of camera gear on Saturday, which is a gimbal. And I wanted it because it can make super smooth shots, like flyover shots and stuff. So it's pretty cool. I only played it with it for about an hour, and then I had to go out and meet some friends because we can do that now. And it's the DJI gimbal, and it is like the first one I've ever owned. It's really cool, and I'm hoping I've got an idea for a collab that I'd like to hopefully convince the person to do, where we do drone racing in the city. And so this will be really good for shooting those shots of drone racing. Oh, Mr. Henry, For All Mankind. Yes, I started watching that as well, and then I think they were doing the episode by episode release or something, and I just waited, but I really liked it while I was watching it, so I'm behind. I'm behind on that. I'm behind on Tehran, which I really enjoyed, but they were doing the release an episode every week, which I hated. And then I forget to actually go back and, watch these things. So this is going a little faster now that I'm doing 2 at a time. Oh, really? I thought season 2 was still to come out, Mr. Henry. One show that I absolutely love that's kind of the same feel a little bit is The Americans. I don't know if you've watched that. It's great. It's got the lady who played Felicity in it. And it's got a British actor who plays an American, and he's superb as well. Really, really good. I have yet to finish the whole series, but I've watched probably 4 or 5 of those seasons. Yes, Slick Nick, for sure. Yeah, I think that's totally normal, Slick Nick. I also love the actor that plays the FBI guy that's their neighbor. I think he's great as well. And I think the gal who plays the Russian consulate lady is good, and the lady that plays the his like fake girlfriend who works in the FBI office is great. Who's married? The actor and the actress? That'd be a surprise to me. Yeah, they're actually together. Oh, wow. That'd be cool. I wonder what that would be like working with your with your wife. Man, I just got super hungry. I'm liking this tune. I can never date an actress. Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? The whole thing's weird. I imagine on set anyway, it's probably way different. You know, you're just kind of like, I imagine it's not, you know, it looks good on camera, but I'm sure it's a far cry when you're actually doing the filming or doing the acting. Okay, we're getting right down to the end here. That was almost perfect timing. It'll probably take me like 10 minutes to attach them again. So yeah, I was really enjoying the stop motion. Coming back to that, I think I'd like to use it on some of the MonoTown lore stuff. It's way easier than I expected it to be with the software. Software is a little expensive, but I just thought, well, it's an incentive to make me use it. And it seems like a really well built software. It makes life a lot easier. I think if you didn't have the software, you'd want to die. It's just like be so tedious. Where are those pieces? There's one. There's two. Wow, how did he get all the way over there? Okay. I think that, yeah, goes right there. Number 2. This is a lot easier and do 2 at a time. Okay. Got a few leftover pins here, which probably not surprising. All right, attachment time. Okay, so we are coming over to the opposite sides. Let's try not to screw this up. I'm going to start like this, and we have it like that. Okay, putting this there, clip in. And then, yeah, this. This is looking sweet. Do I like Technic builds? Yes, I really do. They just take a little bit more concentration. So sometimes I feel like I'm not engaging enough with chat. But no, I do enjoy them. I really kind of marvel at the designs. Just like the ability of the designers to Be like, oh, here's a working transmission. Here's a rear differential. Alright, so now that's set. And that's set. Okay, I think that... Alright, now it's telling me to do... I think I've already done that. Yeah, I've done that. Oh, now we make cones. I have the Bugatti, and all I could think while I built is if I miss a piece or it doesn't fit, I'm so screwed. Yeah, I know what you mean, but I still think the supercar builds in particular are amazing. And there's like guys that are on YouTube and stuff that have built their own that are incredible. All right. I think that's it, folks. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. There's one last little cone. Oh, sweet. So, like, yeah, there is no... This could totally just be minifig, you know? Just some monster crane. Check that out. All right. So we pull out the legs, then we retract them. It's a really interesting look. Then we put them down for stabilization. I don't know if you guys can see this there. Same thing here. Move our stabilizers out. Then engage. That's sweet. Now, I'll show you the mechanism here. If I can remember how to do it. Alright, that moves it up. Move this thing back. And then this moves it out. Sweet. And this flips forward. I don't know if you can see this in a wide angle. Probably not. That's sweet. Keep raising it. Wow, this thing's gonna go high. Look at that, coming up on the face cam. So that's as high as it goes. And then we've got the wheel down. Hook on. Oh, cool. So you wind it, and then this thing clicks down here, so that prevents it from falling back. That is so sweet. All right. Ladies and gentlemen and non-binary friends, I'm super proud of this. This is looking great. I'm super proud of the work you did in chat, viewers, keeping us going with stimulating conversation and jokes and community and encouragement and putting up with me having to backtrack a few times. Really appreciate that. We will be back streaming Tuesday night at 10 p.m. UK time. That's 5 Eastern. We are going to continue to build in preparation for the next episode of the MonoTown Chronicles. You saw episode 2 tonight, MonoTown Reacts. Episode 3 will be coming up on a Sunday at some point in the future. We're not exactly sure which one, but no matter what, we'll have the weekly news. And if you'd like to contribute to the story of MonoTown, drop into Discord. We're always needing volunteers. We're always needing folks to contribute and come up with crazy ideas. We love it. So check us out on Discord, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all those good places. We'd love to see you. And thanks so much for the company this evening. That's us signing off on a Sunday night stream.